In 6.2, we will factor trinomials. When we look at a trinomial, we have three terms. We always look for G, C, F first. And here, when we look at each term, 5 will go into each one. So factor out 5 first. The GCF will be part of our answer. Now we need to take the trinomial and factor it. To do this, look at last term. We want two numbers that multiply to give us 18. Factors of 18. One times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. We look at these, and now we look to see which group combines to give the middle term. When we look here at our trinomial, everything is positive. So we will be adding when we are combining. 1 plus 18 would give us 19, 2 plus 9, 11, 3 plus 6, 9. And so we call 2 and 9 our winners. 2 times 9 equals 18, and 2 plus 9 equals 11. We'll break our trinomial into two binomials, take care of the first term. X times x equals the x squared we started with. Everything's positive, so we will have a plus here in both places, and then 2 and 9. For your final answer, don't forget your 5, the GCF. We do not have a number in front. We start with x squared, so no GCF. We'll break it down into its two sets of parentheses. Take care of the first term, x and x. Then look at the last term. We need factors of 32. But it's not just 32, it's negative 32. So we need factors of negative 32 that will combine to equal negative 4. So when we list our factors, 1 times 32, 2 times 16, 3 won't go, 4 times 8. We need to make the large number here negative before we do our combining. So this would combine to give us negative 31, negative 14, negative 4. And so again, we have a winner. So in our two sets of parentheses, we will take and use positive 4, negative 8. To check this problem, we FOIL it. So when I take the x and the x squared, x times negative 8, negative 8x. Then we will multiply the 4. 4 times x, positive 4x, and multiply the last, negative 32, combine like terms, and this matches what we started, so we know that we are correct. Here we looked for a GCF. We start with x squared. There's not an x there. There's not a number in front. So again, no GCF. We need factors of negative 12 that combine to equal a positive 1. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4 are the factors of 12. Since our middle term is positive, then our large numbers here will be positive and our small ones will be negative. So when I combine, I have positive 11, positive 4, positive 1, and again, I have a winner. Break it into two sets of parentheses, x, x, negative 3, positive 4. You want to check this. You can FOIL it like we did up here, or you could do a quick check. When we look here and we're multiplying, negative 3 times positive 4 does equal negative 12, which is what I have here. I can do a quick check also of the middle. I have negative 3 plus 4, which equals a positive 1, which is what I have here. So this checks. Take the time to do the checking. No GCF again. Notice here, the 8 is positive, but the middle is negative. So to get a positive at the end and have a middle negative, we are going to multiply two negatives. So -1 times -8. -2 times -4. When I combine these, I get -9 and -6, and there's the winner. Break it down into its two sets of parentheses, x and x. We will have -2, -4, and then check it however you like. I really prefer the little quick method. So when I look here and I multiply -2 times -4 equals +8. When I take here and I combine, I have -2 minus 4, which equals the -6, which is what I started with here. So everything checks. The factors of 5, 1 times 5. When I add that up, I get a 6, but that's not what's in the middle. So occasionally, you will have something that cannot be factored. It's prime. Cannot be factored. This will be a rare answer on your homework. For my face-to-face classes, we get a 3x5 card and put this information on it. If I have a trinomial and everything's positive, then my binomials will be positive. If I have a trinomial with a negative in the first position and a plus in the second, then I will have two binomials that are both negative. In both of these cases, we add to get the middle. Then we have a trinomial where we have a positive and a negative. Here we will use a positive and a negative in our binomials. And because this is positive, our large LG number goes with the plus. If I have a trinomial that has two negatives, then my binomials will also have a plus and a minus like these, but this time the large LG number will go with the negative so that that will be negative. To get the middle, we subtract. Let's practice. Get everything written down and then pause the video to practice. Before you pause, I'm going to make a couple of notes just as a reminder. Here you want to remember the GCF. Here we really need to rearrange. When we're working with variables with exponents, we really should have this all in descending order. So this really should be rewritten, let's say, in descending order. For number 3, you have a squared in the front, b squared in the end. So when you set up your binomials, you'll have a in the front, b at the end. For number 4, it probably scared several of you when you saw the half. That is your GCF. So you have to figure out what's going to go here when you factor out the GCF. So think of this. A half times what equals 3 halves? Well, if I replace this with an x and we solve this equation, we would multiply by the reciprocal to cancel that. So do that here. And so x would equal 3. When you look at a half times what equals 5, remember this is our x, multiply by the reciprocal on both sides, x equals 10. So keep this in mind while you're working on your practice. I will go ahead and ask you to pause now. And I'm going to work the problems out. So when you come back, what you're going to see are just the answers. Here are the answers to the practice problems. If you are having any difficulty with these, please watch the video again. Use some of the help buttons with your homework. You can always hit the Ask My Instructor button and send me a question. Good luck.